to the WebFire Wednesday webinar. I got some really exciting stuff to share with you today. This will be all about schemas, because we've heard a lot of people want more information on that. That's probably one of the most popular topics since we first talked about it. And we'll cover everything from how to create them as well as how to sell them. And I'll kind of give you like an actual walkthrough, including the tech side, so you won't have to you won't have to watch like a video or anything like that. You can kind of just see over my shoulders everything that I would do with that. So as always, just like with every WebFire Wednesday webinar, it's every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure to check your clocks and stuff, because I know the time recently went back an hour, several days back, at least in the States here. So make sure that, again, every time will always be Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, even if the time zone changes or the clock goes back or forward or anything like that. So again, each time we'll host a live training and/or Q&A call for WebFire members. These trainings will either feature myself, Brian Goss, Sean Casey, both of us at once, or occasionally a featured special guest if we think that their expertise would be of value to our members. So later this month we'll have a special guest that will show kind of a cool trick on how to basically list like products and stuff on places like Amazon and Etsy, where you don't even have to drive lots of traffic to these things, and how you can basically pick up rankings and stuff there by itself. So pretty cool system. Even if you don't have existing products, we'll show you how you can easily make one in a matter of minutes. So pretty cool stuff there. So if you're here or registered for this series, you'll get a reminder each week so you don't forget. But if you can't make one, we'll have the recordings in the members area within a day of any of the calls under the training tab on the left side navigation bar. So no worries there. And as a side note too, we recently added a little search engine to the actual trainings. So if you want to search for topics by keyword or anything like that, it'll search the titles and show those, because there's a lot of training, so we basically added that to kind of help you out a bit. You can use these calls as an opportunity to get even more training, ask strategy type questions, get feedback, or make suggestions on what else you'd like to do or like to get trained on. And as a special note, make sure to check out our prior WebFire Wednesday webinars and our WebFire trainings, as there's tons of info already out there on a lot of stuff that oftentimes people are asking for more training on. So oftentimes we have guys say, hey, can you do training on this, or that? And we'll have like 2 or 3 videos already done and made on those topics. So make sure to watch the prior ones. We list them out by essentially the title, so you can get a pretty good idea of what's what. Even though we reemphasize several key points and topics and tips throughout future trainings, it's always good to watch prior ones too, or at least ones that would be relevant to you. And of course, as always, you can join our free WebFire Facebook group at getwebfire.com/FB group. And if you join that right now, or if you're already a member, in a little bit towards the end of this call, you'll have a chance to earn some free money. You can get $100 cash that we'll give out to a random person there. So make sure to join that right now, and we'll give you instructions on how to win some cash at the end of this call. And as a reminder, there's not only a support desk inside of WebFire in case there's any email issues. So of course, it's always good to use the help desk. So in case any email goes to spam or anything like that, you can always go into the help desk and you're guaranteed to see a response there. But of course, we also have a normal email support address at support@webfire.com as well. So if you get stuck at all or have any questions or anything like that, you can always reach out to us there. We're here to help, and again, they'll always get back to you in 1 business day or less. Usually it's like in a matter of like an hour or 2, provided it's not like 3 in the morning or anything like that. And right before we officially start with the actual training, I just want to take a minute or 2 to go over the WebFire member rules to success. Number 1, follow the steps in the trainings that we have. Don't try to bypass the trainings and then get like upset or frustrated or anything like that because you're not doing the stuff right or using the stuff as you should. So make sure to watch the trainings and follow the steps there. Number 2, don't give up, and this means basically seek help when needed, but don't get too dependent if there's an easy question that you could solve yourself with a quick Google search. Number 3, no whining or negative attitudes. As always, I always think that's the quickest way to fail is if you're just looking for stuff to whine or be negative about. Nobody likes that. So now let's move on to our trainings. Got some pretty exciting stuff on this call here. So what we'll cover first, I'll give you a brief reminder of what a schema is. I know we've talked about that a lot in the past, but I'll just briefly take like a minute or two just to show off again what it is in case people have missed some prior calls or don't know. Then I'll show a live demonstration of how to create schemas and add them to your site. I'll show off how that's done for a WordPress site as well as a normal HTML site, and I'll even briefly talk about how it can be done on Shopify and stuff like that too. Then I'll show off live how you can sell a schema service. I'll give several tips and tricks and stuff that you can do there. And then I'll talk about an opportunity to sell even bigger ticket offers as well. So it's great to sell a schema for like $500 to $1,000 or more, but it's even cooler if you can turn that into some monthly revenue where you could upsell them into additional things for like $1,000 a month or $5,000 upfront or anything like that right there. So we'll talk a lot about that as well. And then of course we'll have the Q&A and a cash giveaway too. So again, lots of chances, lots of good info on this call, and lots of chances to ask questions and stuff too. So I just want to show off this once again, since we're on the topic of a schema. We had a recent client of WebFire within, I think Sean, it's only like within the first week or, well, I know within the first two weeks, but possibly even within the first week or so, buying WebFire, sold a schema to a client of hers. In this case, sold it for £247. That's about, I think, over $300. And that was right off the bat. But more importantly, also got some deals in place with them to do additional work like email stuff, blog, Facebook posts, which again, a lot of stuff you can use WebFire to help you do and all that, which could be worth way, way, way more in the future as well and have a nice reoccurring income right there. So congratulations to Jackie on that, because that was pretty cool right there, and just goes to show that if you take action, you can get results fast. So now I want to briefly talk about what is a schema. So it's basically information that you pass onto Google, for instance, that tells them a bit more about your site or your business. They then use this info to display more about your site or business, and in return, that results in more exposure for you. Now, sometimes Google will try to like almost create a schema based upon info that they scrape off of your site, but you can actually create one, and you can literally tell them what you want them to know about your website or your business or your client's website or business, and in return, it can greatly help you get higher rankings, more exposure, more traffic, and all that right there. In fact, it's, I think, one of the easiest things that you can do, but a lot of people don't do it, and they're leaving a lot of money on the table. I think a lot of people don't do it because they don't know how, or they've never heard about it, and those that have heard about it simply don't know what they have to do to go and make one. So I want to show you exactly how you can make one right here. Now, if you say, hey, I'm not a tech guy, I don't know how to do any of this crap, no worries, because I'll show you the tool that you can use right here included inside of WebFire, as well as even show you how to upload that code to those sites. So I'll show off that live in front of you in just a couple minutes right here. But more importantly, too, if you really are the kind of person that's saying, hey, I don't want to even touch code, I don't want to do anything like that. Even if you show me step by step how, I don't want to. No worries. Then just hire a person and get them to basically install that code for you. Again, we offer service where we can do that for you, or you can find almost any graphic guy out there or anyone that knows HTML or anything like that, can easily do that kind of work for you, especially when, in this case, you'll just give them the code that they can paste in that you'll get off, of our tool. So in cases like that, don't overthink that. So like if you can get a guy to pay you, let's say, $1,000 to do this for them, is it that large of a deal if you pay a guy $100 to make it all hands-free? No. So if you're really afraid of that, don't even worry about that. That's the last thing you want to be worried about right here. So with that, I'm going to show you a couple examples of a schema, followed by how to make one live and how to go about all that as well. So I'm just going to pause my screen for a second right here, and in a few moments I'll show you a bit more about.
Hey, and Brian, and while you're pausing your screen, somebody asked a good question that we just should clarify, which was, does Schema get picked up by other search engines or just by Google?
Yeah, so it's basically info that can get picked up elsewhere. I think Google probably does the best of jobs in terms of how they display the data and basically the benefit that you can get, but it can help more than just there. But for the sake of this, I mean, the vast majority of traffic basically is on Google, and the best and the most benefit is there as well. So that's why I use that as an example. So yeah, so with that, you should see my screen in a second here. All right. So here are a couple examples of a schema. So here is a website of a wedding photographer in Madison. Okay, so you can see here there's a couple things here. So one, you see this big part right here where my mouse is on the top left. So that's showing up because of a schema. It has the main URL, it has the other web pages and stuff on it. So it's information that the schema is basically saying, hey, this is what's all on the site. So they show a lot more compared to, like, a lot of other sites down here don't really have a lot of info on it, whereas this has a lot more. A schema can also have reviews and stuff too. So if you have even like an affiliate review site, you can have stuff like stars show up and ratings and stuff. If you have an e-commerce site, you can have your inventory or your prices show up as well. It can also be responsible for this right side right here with the map and all that. You can have lots of info there. I'll show off another example. Another example is the tennis shop right here. You see the reviews are right there. You can have some of the reviews show up right here. You can have their social profiles like Facebook and Twitter and stuff can all show up right there as well too. So lots of info all in one place. And especially for like local business, it's very crucial to have like a phone number and stuff like that. And it can even work for like let's say you're looking for Chinese food and stuff like that. I mean, let me guys ask you a question right here. I mean, in this case, these places in Madison are doing a horrible job in that, yeah, they have a schema, they have some reviews and stuff like that, but there's a lot of info missing, like the phone number and stuff like that, and but even then, are you more likely to click one of these up here, or are you more likely to scroll down here and be like, I'm going to click one of these ones down here? No, especially if you're on a phone, you're going to go straight to that right there. Well, let's just do, I'll do maybe, let's do Italian restaurant Atlanta, Georgia. You see, like, even right here, again, tons of info. You can click more and see a whole bunch of them right there. If you're on a mobile device, it will sometimes show some additional info. But again, are you more likely to click one up here or down here? So again, keep that in mind right there. Now, obviously, you know, it's like, would you rather be this guy up here that basically dominates the entire, you know, top of Google as well as the entire right side, or would you rather be like a smaller link like this right here, like Mason's Tennis, where it's just like, you know, a name and a sentence basically? You know, clearly you'd rather be one of these right here. And, you know, when you're selling these, that's the way that you can convince guys to basically buy it. It's like, hey, would you rather be like this guy here and here, or would you rather be like this guy down here? Which do you think will get more traffic? I mean, pretty much everyone who's not a complete idiot would say, you know, this guy right here. I mean, even the ones that are a complete idiot would probably still agree that this one gets a lot more traffic. So it's not really like a tough sell. It's not like you have to convince a guy why having a social media presence is important. Even though it obviously can be important to have a presence there, it's extra hard to convince a guy, you know, who doesn't really know much about it why it's important compared to, you know, a schema here. It's super easy to say, you know, hey, this is why you need this here. Do you want to have all this exposure? Because again, people are searching on Google, you know, right now, and if they don't see you, they don't go to your place. Especially if you're like a restaurant, and especially if you're searching from like a mobile phone. You know, there's not a ton of space there. So if you dominate a good chunk of page one, you know, you might be one of only a couple options that they see. And if they have your phone number and they have the, you know, reviews and ratings and all that right there, they're more likely to make a buying decision on the spot rather than clicking your website, going through, trying to click on contact us, and eventually finding your number. I mean, no one takes the time to actually do that, especially from a mobile phone now. Which a lot of traffic, quite frankly, comes from that side. So again, that's why it's important. In terms of how
Hey, Brian?
Yeah.
Hey, sorry to interrupt for a second, but there's like 5 different questions that we can answer while you're on that page.
All right.
That'll be just real easy for people. Number 1, somebody wants to know, is there a special name for the sites without schema listings? No, they're just sites without schema. Number 2, somebody wants to know, like, how can you control whether or not your site goes above paid ads or how your site is ranked? All of that is controlled by Google. So that's not up to you, me, or anybody else. That's just up to Google.
Yeah. Now
go ahead.
With that, Sean, too, you know, you can't necessarily guarantee that you'd be the top spot, but it's kind of like saying, you know, if you're trying to win a race at a racetrack, you know, with you know, a car, you can increase your chances if you're driving a Ferrari that also has gas in it, compared to if you're driving a clunker that's missing wheels and doesn't have any gas. Now, you might not be the winning, you know, Ferrari, but you have a much, much, much greater chance of getting to the finish line or possibly winning than the guys in the clunkers that are missing some wheels that aren't even filled with gas. So don't be concerned, you know, if you do a search for like Chinese restaurant Madison and you're not like the very top guy. I mean, if you're in the top, you know, 3 or 4, that's still way more sales, way more traffic, way more everything than if you're on page 2 or page 3. And if you use a schema, if you give information out like, you know, your phone number, you know, and your hours, if you're a local business, or, you know, even if you're like an affiliate site, if you have star ratings or stuff like that, you're far more likely to get a lot more clicks and stuff like that. So again, keep that in mind right there. And it's free. So it's not like, you know, with paid ads. Yeah, you can do some paid ads and you can try to buy your way up to the top where you're paying possibly like several bucks a click, which you can certainly do. But would you rather blow, you know, thousands to tens of thousands of dollars a month, or get perhaps similar results for almost free? I mean, it's your choice. Go on, Sean. I think you said there's like 1 or two more questions before we.
No, that would generically sum them up.
Okay, perfect. All right, so with that, of course, hopefully you all understand what a schema is now, but you're probably asking, okay, how do you make one? Now, in the past, I've showed off inside of WebFire how you can do just that, but I want to go in a little more detail because I know there's some of you won't necessarily watch the training and stuff like that, and we actually just added a new training video as well as some extra resources and stuff too that you could check out right there, but I want to go into a little more detail and such right here. So there's multiple different kinds of schemas that you can do, and I'll just do I'll just show off a few right there. So like if you just have a normal site, you can have a schema that shows up like that. If you're selling like a product of some kind, you can have ones that show up like that where it has your reviews and the price and if you have stock left or not. If you have a video that you want to do this to, you can have it show up essentially in the results like that. If you have a local business, you can have tons of info like that, which is why it's like super important, especially for like a local business right there. Or even if you just have like a blog, you can have a blog that shows up like that rather than like a normal link. Like imagine if you have a blog that says, hey, 2 hours ago or two days ago you had a new post on it and it has like a picture on it and stuff like that. Your people are far more likely to click through on that than on the other ones right there. Now, if it's a local business, all you have to do is basically type in the URL right here. In this case, I just have a saved one I have right there. And you would just fill in essentially the info right here. Now, this is just fake info right here. This is not real in this case. Because obviously we don't want to change the schema, around on the, this one right here. But you can see right here that, you just fill in the blank. Like you type in the name, you type in the URL, you type in the number, the address, the longitude and latitude. And I'm sure there's some saying, well, I don't know how to find that. Just click right here where it says find, and it will give you the exact longitude and latitude that you can use right there. If you're a restaurant or you have a client has one, you can optionally have a link to menu. You can add in your hours and stuff. Just click what days and click what the hours are. If there's different days with different hours, you just click add right here, and you can like if we check off these, we can have all these be let's say 9 to 9, and on Saturday we might say 11 to 10. We just would click just that and just add hours right there. And of course, if we want to add social media, we can add that in right there. And that's all fine right there. But what I want to show off, I'll show off an easier one. I'll just do a product page just because that there's a couple things to show off right there. So this is one that I just made prior right there. And again, you can type in, the rating or the review count. Now, make it real. Don't just like make up crap. But again, this is just for the sake of a demo right here. If you have additional products, you can just click Add Product Offer right there. And then once you have this done right here, and again, if you're not sure on what some of this means, there is just a little question mark right here, as well as a video walkthrough at the top. But once you make the actual schema, once you fill in the actual info, like the product name and all that right there, you'd click on Create Code. And in this case, it does two things. Well, it gives you in fact, actually, I think I did it for Shopify in this case, but what you do in this case, you would pick like what kind of one that you want. Like if you just want one for a product or just want one for a site, that's all fine. Let's do the product one. And what you do in this case is it gives you the site-wide code right here. And this is the code that you place on all of your web pages, basically. So this is site-wide. So site-wide means on every web page you have, you paste in this code right here. Now, on the product page, you would basically paste in this. So on the specific product page, if you have a product, if you're like an e-commerce site and you're selling a product, you'd paste this in on top of that on that specific page right there. Now here's some instructions if you have a Shopify site, but for right now I'll start with a WordPress site, and then we'll go to an HTML site, and then we can revisit the Shopify right there. So for the site-wide one, I'll just copy and paste right there. And what you want to basically do is on WordPress, if you have a WordPress site, you want to download the plugin right here. So you'd click download right there, and then you would log into your WordPress, and your first time through, you'd go to plugins, you go to add new, and then you'd click upload plugin, and it will ask you for the file that you just downloaded, and then you'd be set. And in this case, I loaded it on, and it just shows up as WebFire right here on the left side. So once it's loaded on, it will show up right there. Click that. And the part that you care about right here in this case would be the schema right here. So we would just paste in the code, which I just did ahead of time, right here. So that same code we just copied and pasted, we would paste in right there, and then we'd click Save. And this would be true for site-wide. So site-wide, this would automatically have it on all the pages for us, and we'd all be great. Now, depending on the kind of schema that you wanted, like if you want to have a product-specific one, like if you have an e-commerce site, you know, and let's say you sell a massage chair, you sell, you know, iPads, and you sell dog food. I don't know why you'd want to sell all three of those completely unrelated things at the same time, but it was the first three things that I saw in my room here. So that's why I said that. But assuming you're selling those three things, each one would probably have its own page. So what you do then is you go to Pages right here. You go to All Pages. And then in this case, I have a sample product page. Now this would just be whatever page that you have. You'd click on Edit. And then what you would do right there is you'd scroll down to where it says schema right there, and you'd go back to where we just were, click Create Code, and we'd paste in the product one right here where it says product right there. And I'll have it say like we actually just added this right here, and I'll make sure that he has a title that says product page right here too, just to make it a little more obvious. But you just copy and paste that, and then you would paste that in right here on that product, and you'd be set. So this way, they would know, you know, what your reviews are. They'd know, all that good stuff right there. They'd have, in one place easily for you to find, all that right there. So that's how that would, work. And again, don't get too worried or confused, saying, oh, there's a lot of tech crap. I don't know how to deal with that. I mean, if you watch the replay of this and literally go through it 2 or 3 times yourself, you'll easily get the hang of all that very, very easily. So don't be afraid of that there. So that's how you do it right there. Now, in the case of if we had, let's say, a local
Hey, Brian, let me jump in for a second, just because there are questions I can answer real quick while we're here.
Sure.
Okay, so the Shopify example is great. I didn't even know we actually added that ability. That's awesome.
Yep.
So people are now wanting to know how do we edit Amazon, YouTube, all these other places, and the answer is you can only do schema for a site where you can access the HTML code. So Amazon is not going to let you edit Amazon, YouTube's not going to let you edit YouTube, etc. So you can only do it where you can log in and edit the actual website code or the blog code. A couple of people are asking, how do I know if it's a WordPress site? It's pretty easy. If you look at the source code of a page, it'll pretty much start out with, hi, it's WordPress. But it's usually pretty obvious whether or not it's a blog or it's not a blog. And back to you.
Yeah, now having said that, if you're on Amazon, you can still like target keywords and do like basically other SEO stuff to help you rank. But as far as the schema goes, yeah, you have to have access to the site or the HTML to basically change that. Now for a local site one, which is even easier, I'll get to the example one right here. We do the same thing, except we'd have to fill out this entire thing right here, and then click Create Code, and then literally we just paste on that code, right there, just the top code part right there, and we take that code and we just on the WordPress side, it would just be right where you click on the WebFire plugin first. It would just be this code right here that we just basically paste in right there. So super easy to do, and you'd be set. You just click Save and you'd be done right there. So yeah, so that's how that would work right there. Now I know that a lot of you don't have a WordPress site. You'd have basically an HTML site. So to do that, it's still fairly easy. So you have to basically edit some HTML, but it's not tough at all. I'll show you how that's done right there. So in that case, we could go right here, and again we could take the same code essentially, and what we would do is we'll just copy that code right there if we want, and then we would what you'd basically have to do is you'd have to get a FTP client, which we actually have a resource link for you to grab one. Or if you just go to Google and type in free FTP client, for Mac or Windows, you'll find lots of them there. But we have a resource link on the walkthrough that mentions some. The one that I use right here, which is for Mac as well as Windows, is FileZilla, and that's free. So you just download that and install that. That's all free. And then once you have that essentially installed, you'd want to open that, which I've done right here. And all that you would basically do is the first time you'd have to type in your host name and your username and your password. Now if you don't know what that is, you'd either ask your client or you would call your web host and say, what's my host name or my username, and my password. Or if you log into your host account, it should give you all that info. But if not, just call them and they can get you all that info as well right there. Then you just click Quick Connect right there. And basically the right side would be your site, the left side would be your local computer basically. So you'd be focused on the right side. Now if you only have one website, like if you only have one site on your host, some guys might have 10, some might have just one. But let's say if you have like one, usually you would just see a folder up here that would be called something like www or like public HTML access, or some term like that essentially, and you would click on that and it would basically open up your site, and you want to look for usually a file called index.html. So those are, it will show the actual pages on your site. But if you have multiple sites, like let's say you have a host and you have like 10 sites or 100 sites or however many you might have, in that case every folder like right here would be essentially like a new website of yours. In this case we see one called Plasma. That just means that we have a site that's nicknamed Plasma, or like right here, A-Red Telephone. That's just a site called that right here. For the sake of the example right here, we had a website called Web Design. So we just click on that. And usually right then you'd see an index.html file right here. In this case, we just had a subdomain for the sake of this that we called schema demo. When we click that, we see the index.html site right there, or file. So what you'd want to do in that case is you would want to just basically drag that onto your desktop, which you can find again, like right here on the left side. We'll just say desktop and downloads and all that. Again, this is your local computer on the left side, the website stuff on the right side. You would drag that onto your desktop, or your downloads, or wherever you basically want. And what that would essentially do is it will just create a copy of it on your local computer. Now, what you do at that point, I recommend that you make like 2 clones of it, like you just go to duplicate, just so you have essentially like a backup. So in case you mess up anything, you'll always have like a backup that you can replace it with. So once you have that, you would just go to your you just go to essentially where you did the download, and I'll show that in a second right here. So you just go, so in this case I just drag this on over to the downloads or the desktop right there. So I could find it by going to downloads. And in this case I grabbed, well here I'll just grab the, here. I think I grabbed the wrong one first time. I grabbed the product one prior to this call, so I'll just grab this one. So I'll take this, I'll drag it over into the downloads, and then I'll go here, I'll go to downloads, and we see it right there. Now, what we would do in this case right here is don't just click it. We'd want to basically go to open with. And in this case, you'd want to use either a text editor or a free HTML editor. One that we give in the resource is called the COT editor. So I just used that one right there. And it just looked like this right here. Now, we have walkthroughs on how to basically do this, but all you'd have to do is you'd want to paste in the schema code, in this case for the local business. You want to paste it right in where it says the header. So you can basically ignore almost all this crap right here and go right down where it has the little greater and lesser than signs, /head. Give yourself some space, and you just paste in that code right there. So we just paste in, let's go to create code. We just paste in this right here, click copy, go back here. Oop, go back to the editor that I had right here, and we just paste it in right there, and you'd be done. At that point, you just click save, or you go to file save, and then you would take that file that you just saved, you'd go back to FileZilla, and you would find it, in your downloads, and you just look for, index.html. So you just would find that right there. I have a bunch of junk there, so you just would find that right there, and then or on your desktop or wherever you had it, and you would drag that back right here, and it will ask if you want to overwrite, and you'll say yes, and you'll be done. That's all you have to basically do at that point, and you'll have the local site done right there. Now, to make sure that you didn't mess up, because keep in mind you made a copy just in case you messed up anything, you just go to WebFire, and you would basically go back here, you'd scroll down, and you would say, in this case, test my site, and we'll run and see if you have it right there. So right here, we see that it, on the right side, it says that it detected 3 things, including a local business as well as a website schema. So you can basically ignore that third one right there, but it's basically saying, hey, you have a schema of these 2 things on that site, so you're perfectly good. And if you want to test like a new site or like a different site or a prospect site, you just click New Test right here, and you would type in the URL that you want to basically see, if they have a schema, and that would be that. So super easy right there. And again, I know it looks like there's a lot of code. You might be like, whoa, that's a lot of stuff there. Again, if you watch this part maybe 2 or 3 times, or you do this once or twice just as a practice, you'll be a pro at it. It's very easy because, again, it's just literally copy and pasting something either in WordPress or in the HTML code. For a Shopify site, I'll show off that. Almost the exact same thing, except here, all you'd have to do in this case is if you click Create Code, it would actually, I actually did the wrong one by accident. So yeah, I think the coder just did an update right there that helped to change. So that should pop the Shopify then. Instead, I think he accidentally had it labeled wrong there. So I'll make sure he fixes up that. That was just done like minutes ago right there. But for Shopify, all you'd have to do is, again, click the Shopify right there. Then when you click Create Code, you'll see a picture of the Shopify that you just saw. But again, it looks like he updated this, so that will, let's see if it's showing up now. There it is. All right. So it looks like he's on this call and saw that I mentioned he accidentally had the wrong one take there. So, because again, this is a brand new thing right here. But on the Shopify, it will give you basically instructions right here. It's identical to the WordPress and to the HTML thing I just did, except in this case, you'd click on your layout on the left side right here where it shows, and then you'd find the exact same head tag, and you just paste in your schema code right there. So in this case, you'd probably do a product one. So like if you were selling, let's say like watches on a Shopify site, for every watch page, you could make a product specific schema basically and paste it in right there on that code right there. So same thing right there. And again, you can watch the walkthrough again and get an idea of how to do that right there. But again, fairly easy. But again, if you don't want to even touch code or anything like that, you can hire guys fairly cheap where, if you basically say, hey, can you paste this code right here, in the head tag, in the HTML, pretty much every guy, for like a pro, this is like a 2-minute thing. If you want to get, or if you want us to create essentially the schema for you, we have a service right here where we can do that for you or for your clients as well for a nominal fee right there. So again, plenty of profit in it for you right there. Before I go on to how to sell these more easily, Sean, I just want to make sure if there's any questions or any clarifications before we go on to the next part. So
it's only about 150 questions. There really aren't many at all yet. Two things that I want to mention. Some people, when you went through the how do you copy and paste the code into someplace, like their brains melted. Again, you've never done it, but it's actually pretty easy. But if you don't want to do it, you can outsource and get someone else to do that part of it. So it's not something that you 100% absolutely have to do yourself. Okay, but it's really not that hard, and there is there's video directions and stuff inside of WebFire on how to do that. Brian just went through this because so many people had questions on it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are asking can I do this for a site on this, that, the other thing? As long as you can log in, where you can edit the HTML code, you can do it. If you're using a third-party website builder or a free website thing where you just, build it within inside a builder, but you can't access the HTML code, then you can't do it. But otherwise, you can.
Yeah, and again, guys, I know it looks like there's like a lot of parts to it, but again, super easy. Like again, it's as easy as you pick the kind of schema you want, you fill out essentially the info right there, you click Create Code, you get the code, and you copy and paste it onto either the WordPress plugin or the HTML above where it says the head tag right here. So again, in WordPress, it's as easy as clicking on the WebFire plugin, which is free and easy to install, and then you scroll down where it says Schema Markup, and you paste it in right there and click Save, and you'd be done in that case. If you want to create like a product-specific schema for each product, in that case you just go to the specific product page, either in WordPress or if it's an HTML site in an HTML editor, and you do almost the exact same thing. Click on Edit. Then in WordPress you'd go down to where it says the schema and you'd paste in that, or if you're in HTML, you'd basically just would go down to where it says this and where it says the /head and paste it in right there, and then if you're outside of WordPress, you would upload that right here. If you're within WordPress, you don't even have to bother with uploading anything or having FileZilla or anything like that. So hopefully that makes sense. But again, if you don't even want to deal with code or look for like a head tag or anything like that, again, super easy stuff to outsource very, very cheaply. Because again, this is the kind of task where if you're a tech guy, now I'm not a tech guy and I can easily do this myself, but if you're a tech guy and you deal with HTML and all that on a regular basis, this is like a 1 or 2 minute task. So again, not that hard for you to hire out, to have guys paste in code either on Fiverr or a local guy you find on Craigslist or Gumtree, or if you want us to create the entire thing for you, again, you can use our service right here, which still leaves, again, plenty of profit in it for you. Because again, this is the kind of thing that if you charge $1,000 to do, well, a lot of places would say, hey, that's a steal of a deal right there. So moving on to perhaps one of the more important things, because again, you can watch the walkthroughs here, and it will walk you through like how to do all that right there. But more important than how is how to basically sell it. So what you basically want to do in a case like this is you could email or approach almost any kind of business out there, but first pick a kind of business that you want to basically target. So if you want to target first, let's say, restaurants in Atlanta, or restaurants in London, or dentist offices in Sydney, you could do that right there. And what you could do in that case is you could go to basically any of them and say like, hey, would you rather have essentially your info listed up right here like these guys, or would you rather just be a link down here on the bottom page 1 or page 2 or page 3? Pretty much everyone says, oh yeah, I'd rather be that guy. Or if you go to like a local shop, it's like, hey, would you rather be like this guy that has like the whole top part right here and like the whole right side with tons and tons of info, or would you rather be like this guy down here that barely has any info and it's just a tiny, tiny speck on even page 1 of Google right here? Or if they're on page 2 or 3 or whatever that might be, you can say like, would you rather be a small guy right here, or a guy that basically takes up this huge space right here and this huge amount right here? Pretty much everyone says, well, duh, I'd rather be this guy, right here. So to sell them is fairly easy. And one thing that you can do is when you contact these kinds of prospects, like let's say you want to contact, let's say Italian restaurants in Atlanta. So that's your first target prospect, okay? What you can do, what can work quite well, is you can go to essentially Google, and you can type in a search like, Italian restaurant, Atlanta, Georgia, or some term like that, and then you can record yourself basically talking on a screen, so you can record a video. There's a paid app called Camtasia, which I like, which is really easy to play with and work, but there's a free one that's similar. I don't think it's quite as easy, but it's free, so if you want to save some, that's fine, called Cam Studio. So if you do a Google search, you can find those right there, and you would basically say, hey, a lot of people don't know, the benefits of a schema. I saw that you don't have a schema. So sites that have a schema will get results like this right here, where you can have reviews show up. You can even have your phone and address and your hours and all that show up right there. If you don't have one, typically you'll look just like a guy down here, or on page 2 or page 3 or anything like that right there, where pretty much no one's going to click through here if they see a bunch of restaurants on page 1 that have a lot more info on them. So they all understand why it's useful to have a schema, especially if you search from like a mobile phone. It looks even better because they'll have like the numbers and everything right there, where it's like super easy to actually just click once and it will actually call for you. So literally from the Google listing, you can click call and call them right there, whereas in these guys down here, you basically can't. And that's a major difference, especially if they're driving through a place. So they'll all understand that, and you say, hey, so this is why it's basically beneficial to have this. Not only can it help you rank better, it can help you get a higher click-through rate. It can get guys calling you, because even if you're ranked on page 1 and you don't have like a number listed that's easy for them to click on and all that crap right there, there's very little chance that they'll end up calling you. And you can say, but the good news is, right after you make a schema, literally within a matter of days to weeks, you can get the rankings and start to see the results that having a schema can basically bring you. So if you're interested in this, normally there's a lot of tech work involved here and blah blah blah, but you can say for $1,000 or $500 or anything like that, that you'll make one for them, and at that point, it looks like a pretty appealing offer. And then what you do, once you make that sale, all you basically do is you basically email them, and you would ask, in this case, you basically ask them this info right here. So, you would fill in as much as you can yourself. But then, like, if you couldn't find like a menu or stuff like that, you could ask them that. If you want to have them verify their hours, usually you can find all this info on their site. But the stuff that you can't find, you can just ask them, and you just plug it in right here, and then that's basically all that you need right there. Of course, you need their FTP, but that's it. And that works really well in the sales process to basically say, hey, would you rather be like this guy right here, or like these guys way down here, or would you rather be like this guy right here, or like this guy down here? Then say, hey, the reason why this guy has nothing showing is because he doesn't have a schema, whereas this guy here does have one. So that's, again, don't overthink that process right there. It's as easy as that, and that by itself gets a lot of guys very interested. Now, I wouldn't recommend selling this dirt cheap. If you want to, just to get your foot in the door, great. I would shoot for upwards of like $1,000 plus. But if you want to sell for like a few hundred or $500 or anything like that, great. That can get your foot in the door. But then what you want to do at that point is, once they're happy with the results that you got them, so once they see that you made them a schema, once they see that you've done that work, they'll be ecstatic and think, wow, this is like awesome results for not really a ton of dough, because they're probably bombarded by like SEO guys and stuff that don't really get them results, don't know what they're doing and crap like that. At that point, you'll have your foot in the door. They'll trust you at that point, and they'll say, okay, well, that's really cool. What else can you guys help with? They'll say, hey, if you say, hey, I also have some additional SEO services or additional leads, finding things that I can do, or even social media management. That's all huge, and that's all stuff, again, that you can do with WebFire. Because keep in mind, again, under the social tool right here, you have the poster fire tool right there, so you can literally put social media almost on complete autopilot for them. That's huge right there. If you want to help them with leads, like if they were like a chiropractor, let's say, you can find guys with back problems. Under the social tweet lead finder right there, you could find lots of guys with back problems or asking for suggestions on food or anything like that right there, and you could sell them on a lead service. As far as SEO goes, you could even throw in like a website analysis and say, hey, on top of a schema, just for the heck of it, I threw in a website analysis too. And again, you can give them a branded PDF, which is a website analysis, that says like all the problems that they have, including if they're lacking a schema. It will tell them that too. You can give them that for free, and it will tell them bluntly what's wrong with their site, so they'll know what they have to basically fix, but they won't know how, and they won't want to take the time to do it. And that's where you can come in right there. Or another option that you could do too is say, hey, I have an SEO service, and as part of that, for the first month, I'll throw in a schema for free, and I'll throw in, Facebook or Twitter management for free too. And if you charge, like, let's say $1,000 a month, that all of a sudden seems like a steal of a deal. Now, having said that too, you want to make sure that you target your prospects well too. So, don't target a guy that, is right at, like, let's say the poverty line and barely making it, selling whatever he's basically selling. Don't think that he'll pay you like $1,000 or $2,000 a month if he only makes $1,000 or $2,000 a month. Okay, so try to target like clients where just like a couple sales can make a major difference, or the stuff that you can do can make a major difference. Like for a restaurant, having a schema can make a major difference. I mean, night and day. If they don't have one, they're shooting themselves in the foot, and they realize that. So that's like one of the few exceptions that are a lower price point but still work well. But now, like, let's say that you're a lawyer. Lawyers can make tens of thousands of dollars, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. I know some cases where they make millions of dollars off of a single client. So all of a sudden, if you were to say, hey, for $1 or $2 grand a month, you'll do basically SEO for them. You'll do the social media management, and you'll throw in a schema for free the first month. That seems like a deal that's almost too good to be true, even though it's not that much work on your part. Because again, you can do the website analysis, you can find all the problems on their site, and you can fix those for them very, very quickly and easily. So that's how you'd basically sell that. But again, it's as easy as just contacting and emailing the local businesses out there and just basically saying, hey, I see you don't have a schema. This is basically the difference between a site that has it and a site that does not. If you're interested in having me fix that for you, let me know. I can do it for X amount, or any offer that you want like that, perfectly fine. So I'm just going to pause the screen as I go back to the PowerPoint here. So again, just to recap the part on how to sell, first you want to educate the prospect on what one is and what the difference in their exposure, traffic, rankings, and sales can be from it. And again, it uses the example I talked about, which I call the would you rather be this guy or that guy. Like, would you rather be this guy right here that does not have a schema, or would you rather be this guy that has this really awesome looking exposure on Google that has a schema? You also, usually for a schema, typically you'd sell for a one-time price. That's why, I would personally aim for like 1,000 plus, but even a few hundred is perfectly fine, because it can get your foot in the door, and again, you can sell additional stuff. You can also upsell them on the back end into more. And what I mean by this is higher prices as well as reoccurring too, because there's plenty of services that you can do where for 1,000 a month, you'd be a steal of a deal. For 2,000 a month, you'd be a steal of a deal. And in that case like that, you get just a couple or a few clients. You can have a full-time income. just off of 2-3 clients that you're not really doing that much work for. And the cool part there is if you have 10 or 20 clients, it's not really that much more work, but it's a ton of money coming in. And again, if you target guys you can benefit the absolute most, it's a win-win on both sides. But again, I also want to also address, if you hate dealing with HTML or WordPress or anything like that, again, don't worry about that. Either just watch our walkthroughs, maybe like 1 or 2 or 3 times on that, or just hire a person to do that for you, because again, very easy to basically do, so don't overthink that right there. So selling a schema and all that, is great, but for those who are interested in really taking this to the next level, you have to sell other high-ticket and reoccurring offers, especially at even higher prices of like $1,000+ a month to even $5,000+. And there's plenty of services out there where people pay that, that you can easily do or easily outsource for a fraction of that price right there. So last week we made an offer to work more one-on-one with us in developing a high-end offer of your own. And there were a handful of you that were like really excited and really good prospects for that right there that we felt like would be a good match, and that obviously works out great. Of course, the one-on-one takes like a lot of time, out of our hands. So it's like we couldn't offer that to basically everyone for obvious reasons. But some of you, again, jumped on this opportunity, while others mentioned that the entry price was too high for them, or that they would be satisfied with just the information versus needing all the one-on-one help. So we decided to do something special for those of you that think that you fit in that boat right there. So you can get access to all the trainings from day one to get a personal review from us once you have your own offer made, and get some unbeatable bonuses at a lot less of an investment. And again, why this is a win-win is that if it involves less of our time, by you guys getting access to the recordings and all the trainings, but not necessarily every step us having to help you, saves us a lot of time. At the same time, you'll still get a personal review from us. We'll train you on how to make your own high-end offer. So not just how to sell a schema better, but also if you want to sell a $5,000 service or $1,000 or $2,000 a month service, we'll train you how you can easily do just that, even hands-free, where you can outsource the entire thing for dirt cheap. Like how you can sell a $1,000 a month service at a cost of less than $100 a month, and have it be completely hands-free, where you wouldn't have to be a techie or anything like that. This is what we call being basically an internet promotion advisor. So for those that are serious about making money as an internet promotion advisor, we'll give you behind-the-scenes access and training on how to sell high-end web services. And this is the best and most extensive in the industry, guys. We've been in this for a long time. We've sold a variety of different things, and we'll teach you how to drive traffic to your offers, how to create quick webinars. We'll even give you pre-made PowerPoints, so you can essentially have a pre-made webinar that you just fill in the blanks with. The exact methods of attracting high-end clients off of Google, Facebook, forums, classified sites, and so forth. You can get, again, access to all of that training right there. And here's the deal with that. So how would you guys like to get our entire set of tools and sales process for selling web services, where just one sale can be 5 figures a year in profits to you for just one sale? So not like one business, but one single sale can be 5 figures a year in profit with barely any work. Or if you do the outsource option, which will train you on too, it'd be completely hands-free right there. So when you promote high-end online marketing services, you literally get paid big bucks without doing hardly any work. More importantly, there's 2 ways for you to get paid big money. So please pay close attention for the next few minutes right here, because you're about to see a lot of info about a valuable opportunity that you've never seen before, so you'll want to get every single detail about this incredible business here. So the 2 ways of making big dough. Way number 1, follow our step-by-step behind-the-scenes 6-week training course and get access to all our training, tools, and resources to become an internet promotion advisor to sell your own products or services using tools inside of WebFire that can automate nearly all of it. Way number 2, you can use the same training but just outsource all the work to easy places that will show you how. So you won't even have to use any of the tools if you don't want. You'll even get the opportunity to JV with us with the right offer as well. So again, here's what you'll get right here. You'll get access to our Internet Promotion Advisor 6-week training course with weekly webinar video training where you'll get the replays to all that right there. This is about a $25,000 value. We've actually sold this for $25 grand in the past. Even our lowest deal was $10 grand with the one-on-one. But in this case, you get a special deal where you get access to the exact same training. You also get a special presentation that we have. You'll get the PowerPoint slides to how we sold a $12K a month client. So how we sold one client at $12K a month. You'll get the slides on that as a $3,000 value. You'll get the presentation slides for selling several different services like SEO, social media management, all that. So slides that literally you can take, mimic, clone, do anything you want right there. That's a $5,000 value right there. And you'll also get access to our Lead Power Machine software. This is about $1,000 per year value. And we'll actually give this to anyone that signs up for this. You'll get this for free for 4 years. So that's actually a $4,000 value right there. And you'll get access to us to help you with your offers, or potentially even JV with us if you have a good offer that we think would be a good match. And that literally is priceless right there. So again, the 6-week training course, with the recordings right here, usually it would be about $25,000 value, and we've sold it in the past at that. And again, this includes step-by-step training with new tasks each week to accomplish, where by week 4 you could be making live sales, all while again having your hand held right there. And not only that, but again, you get the PowerPoint slides and all that, including one where it was for a $12,000 a month service that was sold. You get to see over the shoulders, behind the scenes, you get those slides right there. That's a huge, huge value right there for how we sold a $12,000 per month contract for a reputation management client, which again, you can use the tools on or outsource. Now, a quick warning. This is for serious marketers, new or experienced, who want to jumpstart their Internet Promotion Advisor business where they could earn thousands a month with minimal effort following our training. And the 6-week course also does require work with weekly assignments. So you can expect a minimum of a few hours a week for the first 6 weeks. Now, if you think that you don't have to, do any training or watch, anything, it's probably not the best of fits right there. So it works, but obviously you have to review the training to actually, get results. And we give you easy assignments each week that you can actually follow. Now, special note. Even though this is designed to be a 6-week course with 1 lesson per week, we're giving you access to everything from day 1. So you technically could be up and running this week if you were ambitious and had more than a few hours a week to do some work. So if you want to be really ambitious, you could get this all up and running within a week and be making sales then too if you really wanted to take action, because you'll get access to the entire 6-week course from day 1. It's not like you'll have to wait each week or anything like that. So if you want to go at your own pace, that's perfectly fine. And this, again, gives you access to all the information up front right there. So previously, only our very high-end clients paying 5 figures or more have had access to this training. And I personally will guarantee that the 6-week course works, and you'll hear about how I can guarantee that in just a minute or two here. So normally you'd have to invest a minimum of about 25 grand to get hands-on training with us and access to our latest and greatest tools. As a special deal today, instead of $10,000 or more like before to get access to the recordings and the one-on-one help, you can get in for only $3,497 one time, or 3 installments of $1,197 a month. Plus, you'll get a 30-day money-back guarantee on top of that. So what I mean by that is, literally, guys, you can try it out. You'll get access to everything from day one, and you'll get a 30-day money-back guarantee as well on top of that. So if you find that, hey, it's not a good fit, if you don't get the results that you want, you can get 100% of your investment back. So it's zero risk to you, and it includes a free personal review from us. So once you go through the trainings, once you create your own offer, okay, we will personally review that for you and give you hands-on tips and help tweak your own offer for you. So really a huge win-win right there. But wait, guys, we're going to make this a complete no-brainer, so you can get this essentially for free. So let me ask you guys a question. Okay, if you could get this for free, who would be on board? So if you get all the training right here for free, who would be on board? Just say a quick yes. All right, seeing lots and lots of yeses. Of course, that's really a no-brainer deal. If we could make this for free, of course you'd be on board. So here's what we're going to do. Here's the no-brainer offer to get it essentially for free, and in a way better than free actually, because you can even save more. So when you sign up today, once you're paid in full, we'll give you 4 years additional, if you're already a member, of WebFire 3.0 for free. So at nearly $1,000 per year, which was our lowest discount price, that's nearly $4,000 value right there that you get in for free. So if you're already a member, we'll add 4 years on top of that for free right there. So huge, huge value right there. That means you don't even have to buy this course. Instead, you're just prepaying for 4 extra years of WebFire 3.0, saving an extra $500, and getting the training series for free. So again, it's like you're prepaying for 4 extra years of WebFire, saving $500 in that process, and getting the training series for free with the guarantee too, because again, it's all backed by the 30-day money-back guarantee right there, which again, if you take action, you can start seeing results again within a week or so right there if you sit down and take a lot of action. If you want to slow it down more and do like just, a few hours a week, within a few weeks, you can get to the part where you'd start to be making sales. So in this case, you'll have the best of both worlds. High-end training to sell high-end web services to make a quick ROI, plus 4 years of WebFire for free. Literally, you could go from zero to starting a 6-figure business in 6 weeks' time and be making live sales in a week or sooner at the suggested rate of like, a few hours a week. If you want to say, hey, I want to spend 10 hours or 20 hours this week, great. You can get to that point within a week or so. You won't even have to wait the 4 weeks then. So why does this make sense? Well, realistically, we know that this is a huge market and that we could never reach even a sizable fraction of all the prospects out there. And by sharing this information with you, we know that several of you will go on to make services that we could cross-sell and market with so that everyone makes money and everyone wins. So that's right. Literally, we both win going this route. And remember, you get a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee, and you'll have a chance of making live sales before your 30 days are up, so it's at no risk to you. So literally, no risk to you. And a super guarantee right here. In fact, I'm so confident in the 6-week training course that if you don't make sales or don't think that it was worth at least 10 times your investment for any reason, you can get a full refund within 30 days. So if you don't think it was worth at least 10 times your investment, you get a full refund within 30 days, and you get access to, again, all the information from day one. So you don't have to wait. That's how confident we are and how powerful this info is. But wait again. Instead of only getting WebFire 3.0 for 4 years, which is worth nearly $4,000 at the lowest discounted price ever, you'll be able to get nearly unlimited leads with training on how to convert them with this next bonus of Lead Power Machine for 4 years as well, which is another $4,000 value. So this is a super cool way to basically automate leads and marketing. We actually automate a lot of our own lead gen using a tool called Lead Power Machine of ours. And it looks like this right here. You can basically type in a keyword like restaurant followed by any location in the world. Doesn't have to be just in the US or the UK or Australia. It can be anywhere in the world. And it'll pull up lots of info, like we'll say what the company name is, what the address is, what the URL is if they have one, what the email is if they have one, what their ranking is if they have one, what their reputation is if they have a mobile friendly site, if they have a Facebook fan page. It'll pull up all that info for them and allow you to export all that info as well, as allow you to quickly email them too. You can also create custom reports for all those guys as well. So you can give them a detailed report on specifically their business where it will say what's wrong with each one, what they should change, all that good stuff right there. But of course, it tells them the problems, it tells them how to fix it, but they won't know how to do the tech stuff. They won't know how to fix it, even though it tells them what they have to basically do. And that's where you come in, because they'd want to go to you to fix those problems for them that you told them that they had. You can do it as a normal report like this, or you can even send a postcard, or you can email them, whatever you want right there. We also have a special mailer built in where you can even mail leads that has an automatic follow-up system with them, and it can see which guys open your email, click a link, and check out your stuff, and it can automatically follow up with them as well. So you can email those leads and manage all that in one place very, very easily. And just to really hit home on how powerful this tool is right here as a bonus, here are some testimonials on an earlier version that did a fraction of what it does now. So here's one. It says, doubled my business. Mike Baker says, since your software, I have literally doubled my business. Here's one right here. Hundreds of thousands of leads. Goes on to say, we provide our call center with hundreds of thousands of names and phone numbers each week. They said that they used to pay thousands here, and now they get all this for free. Here's one takes it to a new level. He says, this takes lead gen to a whole new level. And he goes on to say, your software is the weapon of my choice. This is Ross Brazovar. Here's one right here. This is a big one. Generated over $5.5 grand in the first 6 weeks. So they said that they generated over $5.5 grand in the first 6 weeks, plus had 3 additional sales pending, each for similar amounts. So if 3 additional sales were pending, each for comparable amounts, that'd be over $20,000 right there, just in sales right there off of this right here. This is Bradley Wilson. Here's one saying that they have closed large businesses with this tool right here, saying it's the most diverse lead gen tool that he's used right here, and he's used it across the world, overseas, as well as in the U.S. right here. So this is Kyle Kirschbaum. And as an extra super bonus right here, so on top of WebFire for 4 years, I accidentally said 3 years right there, but it's actually for 4 years, and Lead Power Machine for 4 years, which is already huge bonuses worth far more than this investment right here. So again, for $3.5 grand, you get $4,000 of WebFire for 4 years and $4,000 of Lead Power Machine for 4 years as well. You'll also get access to our special cheat sheet. So during our training, we'll give you a cheat sheet that will include exactly the services and how to package them, and how to fulfill them yourself with WebFire or easily outsource for cheap. The presentations with them, how and where to find the clients, and everything you need, including social proof. So you won't have to worry about anything. So if you're like, man, it'd be really easy to sell a lot of stuff if I had a lot of social proof, we'll show you how to solve that literally the same day. So super bonus number 2. On top of our top-notch 24/7 support that will always get back to you in 1 business day or less, we'll personally look over your offers once completed to offer tweaks and suggestions for you to maximize your revenue. Again, and the value of this right here, again, we'll basically offer personal reviews where we'll look over your work and your offers. Normally, one-on-one coaching we would not do for less than $1,000 an hour. You get that for free as a review right here. Super bonus 3, you'll be off to making your own offerings, closing your own sales and so forth in no time. But this next bonus will take the cake right here. On hiring clients where just one client can be worth several $1,000s a month or more, we'll even let you pass the prospects you've already come in contact with over to us for us to help close them and sell them on our services, where you'd get at least 50% of the net profit, reoccurring too, on each sale. So if you have high-end clients that you just want to pass on to us to do custom quotes and all that, we're happy to do that for you as well and just pay you. So again, this is essentially almost completely hands-free for you at that point if you want to take advantage of that there too. Also, as super bonus number 4, you'll receive our top secret client grabbing trick using social media, even if you have no website, no list, no followers, no PowerPoint, and virtually no pitch. This is insane and can land high ticket sales easily. This one trick alone is worth 10 times your investment today, and that I can promise you. So this one trick alone is worth 10 times what you'll invest today right here. And again, this will be revealed as a special bonus within the 6-week training right here. That again, even though we recommend over 6 weeks, you'll get access to all that from day one. So again, you can get the Internet Promotion Advisor system where you can start your big ticket business today. You can get Lead Power Machine, the presentation, the live webinars, the trainings, which again you get access to all the recordings. You'll get all that and more, and WebFire 3.0 for 4 years. And again, you get our 6-week intensive course with weekly webinar replays and assignments to make your own high-ticket offers. We'll walk you through everything, or if you do just a few hours a week, you can be selling by week 4. If you want to be ambitious and do maybe 10 or 20 hours the first week, you can be selling within a week or two right there. And it's just $3,497 one time, or 3 monthly installments of $1,197. That's over $80,000 of real value, and it's 100% risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So to get this offer, you have to go to webfire.com/IPA. So again, webfire.com/IPA. And again, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. So this is for guys that want advanced training on how you could sell stuff literally for thousands of dollars a pop. So it goes beyond just a schema, way beyond that. So if you want to sell a service for $1,000 a month, or $2,000 a month, or $5,000 a month, or thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars upfront one time, we'll show you how you can do all that and more with actual examples. We'll walk you through every step of the way. This literally is like, one training will be on how to make an offer. One will be on how to create the pitch or the webinar. We'll give you the templates and all that as we walk you through exactly what to do. Another one will be on how to, how to sell this using free methods. Another one will be on how to sell this using like paid ads. We walk you through everything right there, including one of the cool tricks that you learn in it was either the 4th or the 5th training. We'll show you how you can land one deal with just one person, and turn that into literally tons and tons and tons of different deals there. So again, just one deal with just one person, how you can turn that into literally dozens of different deals, right there. So really, really huge, thing right there. But again, guys, you have to go to webfire.com/IPA, and again, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. So with that, guys, right there, I also want to take the time. If you guys have any questions, on what this will, entail or anything like that, you can feel free to ask it right now, and then pretty soon we'll jump to the cashback offer, or the not the cashback, the giveaway offer in just a second right here. But if you have any questions at all, feel free to ask that right here, and again, we'd be happy to answer you right here. But again, just go to this link right here, just webfire.com/IPA. So again, webfire.com/IPA. Again, it's 100% risk-free for 30 days. So you can invest right now. You're completely guaranteed that if you don't like it for any reason, you can get 100% of your investment back, and you also get 4 years of WebFire and 4 years of Lead Power Machine for free. So you're basically prepaying for a few years of WebFire and getting a huge savings on that, as well as getting Lead Power Machine for free, as well as getting all this additional training for free and such right there. So with that, guys, if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask now. And while you ask questions, of course, you can go to our Facebook group as well and do a comment on what you thought of the training, or if you want to take advantage of this offer, which we'll have up for a short time, you go to webfire.com/IPA. So Sean, if there's any questions that you saw while I was talking, feel free to shout them out here, and we'll try to answer as many as we can now.
Good. Well, a couple of people are asking a question on the offer that you just talked about outsourcing, and more specifically is, can they really outsource like all the delivery, all the services, and everything else? So they wanted you just to explain that a little bit more.
Sure. So we actually go through in the training 2 different unique options. So we basically explain both. So if you want to be totally in charge, like if you want to be a one-man show and you want to do the services yourself, we show you how you can easily do services that don't take much time at all, especially that you can use the WebFire tools for, by how you can basically tweak that into stuff that you can sell for thousands of dollars a pop, in some cases even like $1,000 to $3,000 a month, and do all that work yourself. But at the same time, if you're like a guy like me and you want to just say, okay, that's cool, but I'm fine also paying a guy a smaller amount of money to just make it completely hands-free, we'll show you how you can find guys that you can sell like a $1,000 or $2,000 a month service at a raw cost of $100 to $200 to you, just by outsourcing it. We'll show you how to find these outsourcers, where they are, how you can hire them, how you can weed through them quickly and easily, and how you can find what I call like the hidden gems, which are guys that already have really awesome offers, but how you can do like a couple easy tweaks to what their offer is and make it sell 100 times better for way, way, way more than what they're selling it as. Like we'll show you how you can take $100 service and turn it into like a $1,000 or $2,000 a month service. And you'll learn that within the first 2 trainings. We actually go through all that right there. So right off the bat, you'll see how you can have a completely outsourced offer and have that be hands-free. So yes, literally, if you don't want to do any work in terms of like doing the actual service, you don't have to. Any other questions, Sean, that you saw?
Yeah, just look at your screen, Brian, and scroll.
Well, I see that's the question.
So Gerald, yes, generally speaking, you can hire people to do work for you in whatever country you're in, but probably they'll be in another country where people work less expensively than if you're in like the U.S. or the U.K. or Australia or wherever. For example, in India, where there's lots of highly qualified people and the average wage is like $4.09 a day or something I just saw in a news report, you can get the same person to work, much, much less for a much lower fee than you would pay for the exact same person to do the same job in another country where the wage scale is much higher. So, generally outsourcing is done to countries where people will work for less money because it's more fun if you're paying them less money. Kelly, you're welcome. Gerald wants to say, so for an outsourcer, yes, you would give them, they'd have to have access to your client's website because somebody's got to have access to the client's website to do the work. So it's either you or somebody else. And then your next question is going to be, well, how do you know you can trust them? You wouldn't hire somebody that you don't reasonably think you can trust, and you would always have somebody who's got lots of references and referrals. And one of the things that we always do in looking for outsourcers, whether it's on Fiverr, it's on Upwork, or wherever, is people that have lots of ratings. We don't just randomly give somebody access to things and that we find standing on the side of the road, right? We do some due diligence to make sure they're legit along the way. Okay. Clive, you could do that as well along the way. So somebody said somebody's posting lots and lots of comments in the comment section on Facebook, like, they'd like to get more chances to win. So please don't do that, especially if you're just copying and pasting lots of comments. And if you accidentally posted lots of them, please delete them. So you're just fair to everybody. Since we're giving away free money, it's not like you had to buy raffle tickets to get it. So that would be much better. Brian, a couple other questions that came up earlier that a lot of people were wanting to know. How long does it take once you add the schema code to a website and submit the site so that Google knows to come and pull the update? How long does that take to show up in the search engine results?
It can be anywhere from a matter of days to a matter of like a couple or a few weeks.
Right. And so to answer a question that a lot of you asked, probably some other people had, it's like, how do we know when we do this that Google is going to give us the result that we want? There is no way to guarantee that. Seriously. I mean, it's the billion-dollar Google company or the billion-dollar Yahoo company or whatever other search engine you're trying to get results in. We do not control what they're doing, but like Brian said earlier, you can drive the really slow beat-up car with no gas in it, or you can drive the Ferrari with fully gassed-up engine in a race. Which one do you want to have? You want to give yourself the very best chance to win and get the most results possible, which is why you want to use schema, you want to use good SEO practices, etc., because that's what's going to apply and work for everything along the way. Yarden, that's absolutely correct. And then, so people wanted to know how to add schema to Blogger.
So basically, it'd be essentially anything where you can edit the HTML. You'd paste it in the exact same spot, where it says, the head tag. And I'm pretty sure inside of Blogger, they allow you to actually edit HTML. I'm not 100% positive on that, but I'm pretty sure that you could edit that, but I'd have to double check that. But yeah, it is like anywhere where you see the head tag, you would paste in that right there.
Hey, Gerald has a question. If you could take a look at it right at the bottom and be able to do that. Someone is asking, can you take the schema off if the client doesn't pay? I mean, first of all, yes, you could. If you still have access to the site, and you probably would. Secondly, we don't generally do work for companies if we are not getting paid up front, or we otherwise are absolutely 100% confident we're going to get paid because we don't like to work for free. We don't think you should work for free. If you're doing a really big job that's thousands of dollars, and the client only wants to give you a deposit, get the deposit and work out the exact payment terms with them. But we don't do work and then hope people randomly send us money later. That doesn't work really well as a business practice. And if you're dealing with a business and you don't feel comfortable that they're going to give you what they promised, then don't deal with them. And you only want to deal with reputable people anyway, right? Because life's too short to deal with unreputable, whiny people. Okay, you got that, Brian. Clive, yes, just email support@webfire.com if you have any issues. All right, Brian, so you can take a look at those. And Paul's asking, would their deposit be non-refundable? Yeah, their deposit is non-refundable unless you are guaranteeing something and saying you're going to refund money in certain circumstances. But and I mean, unless you're going to guarantee, and I don't suggest you do, but some people are like, can we guarantee they're going to get expanded listings and their listing's going to look like this and it's going to happen in like 5 days? And it's like, no, you can't do any of that. Well, you could, I just wouldn't, because you don't want to make promises that are going to be hard for you to keep. Particularly if you do schema for somebody's website and their website otherwise sucks, right? I mean, it doesn't rank now. It's on page 75 for their best keyword. I mean, there's no content on the page. The SEO on-page score would be like 0, right? Adding schema is unlikely to magically fix a disaster of a website or a web page. Okay, so you've got to use other good practices. However, it's the foot in the door of these guys. Your competition is doing this. Brian showed you the example of the tennis site, right? You're either going to be, if you're competing with the tennis shop, okay, or want to, then you either got to do as good or better as the tennis shop to get those kind of listings, or you have to give up all of the web traffic to the tennis shop. If you're in business and you want to be another tennis shop, or you are one in Madison, Wisconsin, or you want to compete, you have two options. Hire somebody to help you compete, or just give up on the fact of ever having a successful business getting any traffic from the internet.
Yeah,
right?
and
I mean, seriously, it's just not an option to ignore the internet and what your competition is doing, because there are people going online finding this stuff. Go ahead, Brian.
So yeah, I just there's a couple guys. So yeah, there's a one I just laughed at. There's a guy here that said he actually used to do some schema coding for others for free, when in hindsight he could have earned a lot. And yes, you are right. But I want to touch base on. There's a couple guys asking a question similar to what Andrew asked here, and he's saying, hey, if there's a guy that can buy a website or get a service on Fiverr, which would be for $5 or so, how can someone charge like $1,000+ for the same kind of service? Well, you're thinking not like an entrepreneur. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever gone out to eat in your entire life anywhere? To which I'd hope most of you would probably say yes, right? And then the question I would ask there is, how much have you paid for a steak? Okay, at a really nice steak place. Like I know I've paid like upwards of like $50+ for a steak that you could go to the grocery store and buy the same steak for like $5 or so. Now, you can ask, well, how the hell can a restaurant charge me 10 times the price for the same steak? If I can go to the grocery store and get one for $5, how can a restaurant possibly charge me $50 for virtually the exact same thing? How is that even possible? It's because the perceived value and the value to it as well. So not only do you have it all pre-made at that point, you don't have to cook, you don't have to clean, you don't have to do any of that. For the convenience alone, you'll pay extra. It's the same thing like for guys that fly like first class. Now, if you bought a first class ticket internationally from, let's say, the U.S. to China, okay, for a first class ticket in a nice airline, you might be paying upwards of like 20 grand. When the economy seat might be $1,000. Well, guess what? In both cases, they do what? They get you from point A to point B. It's the exact same plane. So why the hell would someone pay $19,000 more? Because the perceived value and the convenience that you'd have. Maybe he enjoys being able to sleep or work. And maybe the value to him, maybe if it's like a CEO, if he's able to work, a little more easily, to him that might be worth, thousands of dollars more. Likewise, a schema, you might be able to paste in the code or have a guy do that for you in like 5 minutes. And if you charge, let's say, $1,000, or let's say even $500, let's say you go lower, okay? Instead of saying, well, how can I possibly charge more if it's only a 5-minute task, it's the value that the guy gets out of it, okay? If you're on a sinking boat and there's a hole in your boat, you're leaking water, and either you pay a guy to find that hole and fix it, or you sink, drown, and die, okay? Are you really going to say, well, gee, it takes this guy five minutes to find this hole and fix it. Do I really want to pay $1,000 to fix that hole and have my business stay afloat? Would you even think or hesitate if it was your own life on the line? No. You'd pay the $1,000 and have that hole fixed. Likewise, in a business, if you're able to fix them from losing sales, losing customers and stuff every day, and not only help them not lose them, help them gain them, that's of a huge value to them. So you want to start to think in terms of, what is the value that you can give another person, not why would someone pay me so much if it doesn't take that much time for me to actually do. So don't think on like essentially an hourly basis, think on a value basis. If you think on an hourly basis, you'll never get out of like a normal 9-to-5 job mentality. So you have to think on like how much value can you bring them and what is that worth to them. In that case, they'll gladly pay you for your time and expertise on that. All right.
Hey, Brian, and for those people who didn't click on the link in chat and tried to type in webfire.com/I, P, A, just ignore what Brian wrote on the screen and type in lowercase IPA, and it will work much, much better. Because uppercase IPA will simply give you an error message.
Oh. That's odd.
It's only odd if you typed in capital letters. Otherwise, it works good.
All right, good catch there.
Gerald had a question on whether the images get picked up from the site or the images.
So, okay, so on a schema that involves like an image, you can actually specify what image you want to actually use. So inside this schema tool, you can give a link to a specific image. So that's all fine. So that answers that. And all right, so the question right here. All right.
Okay, I think we pretty much got everything. Let's go give away money, and then we'll come back if anybody's got any other questions. But since I know people are anxious to get free money,
all right.
I in fact am anxious to get free money. It's just unlikely to happen today, since unless I can post. I'm going to post a comment and see if I can win.
All right. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. If you're,
I do have to comment.
Yeah. If your number is randomly drawn, Sean, I think I think we'll say that's okay then. The chances of that, though, are probably quite slim. But yeah, let's go to the giveaway.
I just posted. I want to see if I can win.
and we'll do the drawing live, so it won't.
Well, we are doing the drawing live, so if I win, this is going to be great.
All right, so let me just go to the.
See, people are already liking my comment. I should win. See, look at everybody's liking my comment. See.
All right. Pulling up the proper sites right here.
See, I'm going to have the most liked comment. You have to let me win.
All right, so what we'll do right now is this, and so to get a chance to win, basically just leave a comment under right here, where you see all these comments right here. And we'll give you maybe 10 seconds or so to do a comment really quick right there. There's always a few that comment outside. That's okay. So we'll give the total. So I'll add those up first real quick. So we have 1. Yeah, wait. We got 1, 2, 3.
I'm glad you have to do all this math.
5.
Much better you than me.
So 5 outside that were posted today, plus, just refresh, just to be fair. So 5, so I'm not counting ones that were made a day ago or so. So 5 plus 51, so we have 56 in total. 57 now. So 1 just got in right there. All right, so what we'll do, there's 57 right now. So I'll do 1 to 57 right here. Oh, wait, is there maybe one more just popped up? Oh, 58. So someone got incredibly lucky. So 58. One just popped in. Winner is 48. So
I think that's me.
That would be hilarious if that's true. So that would be that'd be 11 back, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
right?
57 minus 48? That would be 9 back.
No, because
plus then the 48th one.
58 counts as 1.
Oh, there's 58. Okay, yes. Then there'd be 11 altogether. And don't forget to count the 4 underneath first.
Yep. So that'd be 11 back. So yeah, so that's just want to double check that. And we go back and we only count the newer ones. So 11 back. Where's the old one? That's the old one right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These ones don't count because it's yesterday. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, you're off by 3, Sean.
I was close. I was close.
That was a close.
So off by 3. So I get $33. Who gets the rest?
So it's Naima Akhtir. I'm probably saying your name wrong. I apologize. But Naima Akhtir or Thier. If this is you, again, I apologize if I said your name way wrong. But if this is you, again, you are $100 richer right now. Or I should say, as soon as you send us your PayPal info, you'll be $100 richer. Yeah. So looks like you enjoy lots of balloons there. So kind of cool right there. Yeah, so just if you could message us with your PayPal info, Sharon will get that sent over to you shortly today. So if that is you, let us know. So again, congrats to you. And Sean, good luck for next time. Missed it by 3. That is funny. All right, guys. So Sean, were there any last minute questions that popped up? And if not, we can wrap up the call. And again, guys, make sure to go to webfire.com/IPA to take advantage of that deal that we'll leave up for a short time right now. But Sean, if there's any questions, let us know. And again, it's all backed by 1 month guarantee right there. And it's basically you're prepaying for 4 years of WebFire and getting all the training and all that stuff for free right there. So it really is a pretty good deal, especially when you consider the guarantee and all that right there. So Sean, if you see any questions that popped up in the meantime, shout those out. Otherwise, we can wrap up the call here.
Yeah. So sorry, just reading a message that made me laugh right when you finally let me talk, because I never get to talk. I don't even get to win money. It's terrible. All right. So we've got a couple people asking something. Okay, so Nigel's trying to find the Facebook page. Hang on, so let's fix that because I can fix that easily.
If you go to getwebfire.com /
well, he says that link is not working for him. So I'm going to give you the long Facebook link that where I'm on the page right now.
Make sure that it's getwebfire.com.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, the replay will be up sometime later this evening. We're there. Sharon, Naima posted. You got her email address. You need Roger's email address because he had an order problem that we need to get fixed for him. Get him up and running. And we're good. Paul worked on a lowercase, got in. Okay, great. If you guys got any last questions, post them fast. Otherwise, we're going to wrap up because we've gone long today with all this info and conversation and answering lots of questions. I answered 3,812 questions while you were talking, Brian. So,
alrighty.
I just want you to know I wasn't just sitting around being a pretty face. Actually, I've never in my life been sitting around being a pretty face. some of you guys will have questions as you go through this stuff, and if you do, that's why we have support. Before you go to support and ask them how to do the things that Brian just showed you on the technical side for how the tool works, remember, there's actually the tutorial videos inside of WebFire on how to use the tool. So, watch those first, because I know you never did this before, but if you just follow the directions, you'll find it's not that hard, but it's highly effective. So, use the software, use the tools, and 90% of your questions and problems will get solved pretty quickly. So, life is good. All right, thanks everybody, and as always, go out there, take action on everything you've learned, and you're going to get results. Thanks.
All right, guys. Thanks much.